Stars, what a wonderful surprise to see Princess Kate Middleton back on the scene at Trooping of the Color. But there are still so many theories that try to account for all of the incidents on the timeline. It can be difficult to know what is actually related to what we saw today and what was meant as a distraction. But let's take the most important incidents and ideas and see if this captures what's been going on since late December. Number one, Kate has not been seen in public for 6 months, especially if you take those suspicious photos and that farm shop video out of the equation. We have 6 solid months of no see 'em. Number two, Kensington Palace released and endorsed all the different fraudulent Kate images, the Mother's Day photo, the farm shop video, the possibly AI I have cancer video, and then yesterday's photo in the forest. It's unclear to me whether trees grow like that anywhere on the crown or monarch properties. Number three, Kensington Palace has come across as disorganized and unprofessional, especially compared with Buckingham Palace when it comes to communicating with the public. The suggested timelines for Kate's return all were wrong, from the prior to now dates, and then everything was pushed to the fall, and then 2025. Crazy. Why did they not have any accurate assessment of when Kate Middleton might return? So weird. Number four, and this is still a fact, Kate's family are almost entirely missing, with the exception of her brother, James. And all he doing is hawking his own dog food and dog biscuits and biography of his dog, Ella. You know, miss me with all the, oh, why did Meghan Markle make raspberry flavored jam, y'all? And dog biscuits. It's because she has a dog, and it's because she has a business, and we want the jam. We want the jelly. We're here for it. No one had a word to say about her brother hawking all of his items, failed business after failed business, just like the parents. This is very unusual for her family to be so invisible, especially because Mama Middleton loves attention, loves to be photographed in her outfits, driving here and there. We had to listen to all those stories about Mama Middleton cooking for Kate, living with Kate during the last 6 months, making huevos rancheros and enchiladas, and then dropping off the leftovers to Charles. Really? So many stories that were conflicting over the last 6 months. But number five, Charlotte and Louis had not been seen since December. Are they still in school? But this is still an unprecedented absence for them from photos, public activities, etc. Why? Number six, the British media seem to be grasping at straws, and they still are. Right? There's no consistent narrative of what happened and why it happened. One day she's out and about, the next day she's not returning, maybe ever. The only thing consistent are no credible public photos and always pivoting the discussion to Meghan Markle. Meghan is doing this. Meghan thinks this. Meghan thinks that. Meghan's wearing that. It has to be a desperate time for toxic British media as GB News is shutting down, and I believe profits are down across the board. And that's why so many newsroom editors are angling it over the pond to head up different American newsrooms, much to everyone's dismay. Number seven, increasingly stories have appeared in major publications, kind of hyping up William going solo with an ever more permanent tone. We saw all those, single dad photos with the kids, the single dad doing engagements around the UK. Now he's going to Germany solo. He went to Singapore solo. We're getting used to seeing solo flight William. Number 8, how tight Camilla has gotten with Rose Hanbury. Poor Kay. While Kate was out of commission, old girl had Rose Hanbury at a bunch of different public events, all hugged up on her. It was disrespectful, to say the least. And number 9, Kensington Palace and Buckingham Palace seem to be bumping heads. They seem to be in competition. And with today's return to the public scene at Trooping of the Colour, it looks like Buckingham Palace has won this round. There are other incidents, whether it's nighttime motorcade / ambulance sightings or Thomas Kingston's unaliving. We can't necessarily say, that was Kate Middleton or that involves Kate Middleton. Clearly, Thomas Kingston was unalived under highly suspicious circumstances, but there's no clear claimed connection with Kate. So, shrug. What explanations do we have on hand? Explanation number 1, she has cancer and is taking a prolonged rest. While this is the dominant theory, it does not explain much of the evidence. In fact, it explains the least. For example, when people become ill, especially wealthy, high-profile people who can afford, special high-end care, their entire families, children included, do not disappear from the face of the earth. Nor does sickness necessarily bring with it absentee husbands and mother-in-laws visiting with rumored side pieces. Sickness does not generally result in extremely suspicious lies or tension between husband and his father. This hypothesis seems a little janky. Explanation 2, regardless of her health state, something is wrong between her and William, and she does not want to or cannot appear in public, whether due to physical ailment or the royal family's insistence, resulting in a PR machine desperately and clumsily scrambling to buy time. This hypothesis is better as it accounts for most of the weird, conflicting information. There very well could be a disagreement between Kensington Palace and Buckingham Palace on how to handle a divorce, the ongoing separation, or if divorce is even an option. Kate could have hard quit, or in my opinion, Kate could have just been on a sick out. Like, I'm not playing along. I'm not pretending in the public until you give me what I want. If that's an improved separation agreement, if that's a better arrangement post-divorce, or if it's just, I'm going to hold out until I get treated better because you did something wrong, right? We've seen that. We've seen people in long-term relationships, when the other person does something really wrong, it's time to go to town. Is that what we're seeing? William could have been shoving Kate out of the public eye, hoping that we would forget about her, or just to wait and see how she was going to behave because he did something wrong. In my humble opinion, it doesn't explain everything, right? The children in the birth family being gone from the scene, especially. Why would marital problems result in not seeing the children or the in-laws for months? Surely we had photographs of William and Harry while their parents worked through their divorce. So this one goes a way to explaining, but doesn't quite cover everything. Explanation 3. Regardless of Kate's health status, something happened that Kate's children and Kate's birth family know about. This event would reflect poorly on the royal family. The event could be a physical or emotional collapse by Kate herself, resulting from fit eating or some other kind of, let's say, mental strain. It could have been a physical fight between her and her beloved. It could even be something that we can't imagine, right? An accident, a tumble down the stairs, falling into a glass cabinet, something that could have left a scar on the left side of her face from above her eyebrow down into the occipital bone area. What could it have been? You're welcome to guess. Whatever it was, Kate can't, by physical disability or royal family decree, or won't participate in public events anymore, and the royal family isn't just scrambling to buy time, they are scrambling to silence witnesses and those who could corroborate the story. And simultaneously, they're dealing with a succession crisis. This theory explains all the evidence and could therefore likely be the most correct one. However, now that we have today's event and we saw Kate and the children, it seems like we should adjust our analysis and our explanation of what the heck has been going on. But what we saw today at Trooping of the Color is that A, Kate was seen with William and the children. B, Kate looks healthy, although it's not clear if we can decide that she is healthy. This appearance could be the byproduct of many factors: makeup, rest, filters, right? There's been a real difference between how Kate looked in the carriage, walking in the rain, right, without as much direct sunlight as you would have on a sunny day, at a distance, up on the balcony seated, up on the balcony standing. We know the games that get played with visuals. But C, it does look like Kate has a new scar running from the corner of her left eye up past her eyebrow, and it's a jagged scar. It has turned white. Is this just some, defect of a photograph? Is it, I don't know, some kind of like makeup artifact gone wonky? Is this a real scar? We've seen what was claimed to be a scar in Kate's hairline years ago, and people said, it's a scar from childhood. It was perfectly straight, unnaturally straight, and people denied that it was a track from a hair extension. But this new scar looks severe. It looked like the kind of scar because of blood pressure in your head that would likely spurt everywhere. It looks frightening, and it looks like the kind of scar that comes from some kind of impact, right? Either against a wall, falling down the stairs, hit with a blunt object. It's not an incision, it's not an abrasion, it's not an avulsion, right? You think about all the different kinds of scars. How could that scar have gotten there? It's not a surgical scar because surgical scars are neat. But that's new. D, on that balcony and in that carriage and on the walks to the event and away from the event, Kate's moods seemed to fluctuate. She appeared far more serious and reserved when William was present, and she also seemed far more relaxed when it was just her and the children. It seemed that the same pattern could be observed in the children. Correct me if I'm wrong, and let me know if you have a different opinion. I know this is subjective, but if you disagree, feel free to chime in stars. But it seems like the third explanation for the last 6 months still could be right, that something happened that, if it came to light, it would harm the royal family's reputation. The reason for this is that the facts alone, even before her appearance, were enough that it was the only conclusion that could be drawn that accounted for all of the different incidents and factors. Her appearance today did not really add or subtract from this hypothesis. Nevertheless, the scar, if that's what it is intriguing and it's thought-provoking. Like, what could have happened? Maybe she just fell or hit a door or tripped and fell downstairs. Maybe it's unrelated to the timeline, the health diagnoses that's been claimed. Maybe she had a surgery for cancer or abdominal, or, took the time over the last 6 months to have some cosmetic procedure or procedures. She looked great in a lot of the photos, but we still don't know what exactly the medical activities were. We know what we were told, but again, the changing demeanor that she displayed in today's event was new. We didn't see her behave like that before, right? But now it seems like she was comfortable without William, but tense when he was around. These two observations, if related to whatever did happen back in December, could suggest a very, very, very bad argument, or an argument in combination with DV. If the kids know about it, we don't know. I don't think we know anything conclusive yet. I'm not sure we ever will. But I think this is enough we were given enough to observe today that might give the third explanation more weight. And it definitely fits most of the facts, unlike the other couple of theories, right? It does seem like certain things are being given to us so that we'll believe them, and certain things are being hidden. We did observe that Kate and William were together as little as possible. George and Charlotte looked a bit glum. George appeared to study his parents' interaction on the balcony. Louis seems too young to know what was going on. But again, seeing Kate today drove home one really important point. What was the point of all those fake photos and video, right? One of the things that when we kind of fly up from today's event and from the last 6 months, we go up 10,000 feet in the air like a drone or an airplane. Does Kate want to divorce William, right? Maybe William wants to divorce Kate, either to be a free man or to be with someone else. But if Kate successfully left William, it could end up like Diana all over again. She wouldn't be allowed to live in peace. There would be an ongoing effort to control her movements, what she said, who she spent personal time with. She would have to watch William possibly get together with another woman and elevate that woman to Kate's previous position. And by sticking it out, however hard, however much impact it has on her health, if she keeps up appearances and is able to be photographed smiling and people are saying, oh, so romantic, so in love, then Kate can continue keeping up appearances. They can continue living their separate lives. They can continue living their separate lives in separate residences, right? As the helicopter flight logs told us. And Kate can attend little to no functions. And most importantly, she will have the press and the public on her side, as ensured by the likely protection of the royal family, right? If Buckingham Palace and King Charles put their blessing on that ongoing arrangement, then she stays in the marriage. She retains the title. She can expect to succeed to the title of Queen Consort, just like Camilla. But is that what William wants, right? A divorce settlement or a separation settlement could get her the same things. Custody of the kids, lots of money, and probably Andrew's house, right? Royal Lodge, and maybe that's why Charles is trying to kick Andrew out. I think that Kate can count on being protected by King Charles until William becomes king. And maybe that's a good enough outcome for now, rather than, giving William what he might want and handing over the crown, to be to some other woman. I don't know if it's true that royals can't remarry if their current spouses are still alive. Is it something where the king can kind of bend those rules, either within the rules of the monarchy or within the rules of the Anglican Church? It's unclear. Unless, they're given special permission and all of that. But I think we can all be glad that Kate is back and she seems to be functioning. If she's not 100% healthy, we don't know, but she looked great. Maybe, the worst of it is over, and now that she's alive and back, not in a coma, Concha Calleja said she's going to have another surgery in the fall. Is that cosmetic? Is it something to do with cancer or something to do with the abdomen? We don't know. Maybe, Kate went through a period of not wanting to play anymore, right? And wanting a divorce and wanting not to cooperate. And maybe Kate got strongly persuaded to stick with the status quo, get back to work, and, go back to the rhythm that we as the public have been groomed to expect, right? The tension with William and the kids, it may just be a testimony to what the state of their marriage is now. But, back to work, maybe with a refreshed face, maybe with slightly improved jawline, eyebrow angle, and teeth. But, the Hollywood perspective is that that's not a bad thing, right? If you come out the other end looking better, feeling better, having more confidence, and being safe and alive, then I count that as a win, not only for Kate Middleton, but also for the royal family as it stands right now. But let me know what you think.